Okay. Team building is super important. It helps you get to Cabo, and it's what's going to be super important for our teams, okay? And for your belief and for getting your assistance yet. And so I asked Lake to give some tips and what to do for you guys and just a group discussion here on how to really make sure you're feeling confident going into January of how you can get 10 plus people set for training, how you can launch 4 to 10 people, and really help our division explode. So if you don't know, Lake has been extremely successful with building his own team. Whether he's an assistant or a branch, he basically helped create his own team. Okay. And some, like Daniel, you wouldn't be here if it weren't for him talking some sense into you to try this thing out. But there's many ways you're able to do this. So we'll go over the document and explain this and have Lake share a few thoughts on this too. So thank you, Lake. Mr. District Executive, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, just to start off about why team building is important, it makes you extremely marketable in the workplace. So when Jason and I were at the career fair at SNC, there was basically a SNC alum with every company, and they were just recruiters. That's all they do. And frankly, a lot of employers really only see our generation as recruiters, influencers, people that can get better people on the team. So for you to be able to put that on your resume that you recruited 10 to 15 people is really important. But why it's important now is because January is extremely AMPR driven. So last year, like a few sources that we're going to get people from is I know Jason is sending out mailers. We're sending out a little bit of mailers as well. We're going to get probably 3 to 5 people from campus, and then the rest is basically AMPRs. So your office is relying heavily on you. And so the big dance for Jason, they launched 9 last year. I'm not sure how many of those were AMPRs. I'm going to guess the majority of them. But then from those PRs, the following week, they launched 19. Mm-hmm. So now when it comes to recruiting during January, this is the best time to recruit because they get the best vector experience. So they're not coming to work part-time over summer or just to try it out for a few weeks. They're like coming into this ready to work. They're not like trying it out to see how it goes. They're like, I need money. I was broke all semester. They're ready to work, and they're ready to work hard in a short amount of time. So people really get the best experience, and then they get the best training as well. So, you guys are all very well versed and experienced with vectors. So when you're not only watching training, which Jason touched on, which is good, but when you're also there for training. So we have 10 to 15 people, and then we have 5 to 6 MITs in that training for you to be walking around while they're role playing, building relationships. It's the best training that we run all year. So you're really setting, if you're like nervous about, getting your friends involved or recruiting, they're really going to get the best experience during January because they have the right mindset. It's a short amount of time. They're going to get the best training because we have the best quality people in for the training. And, we're going after a trip. So it's the best culture opportunity as well. And there's also going to be a fast start opportunity for people to go to Cabo as well. So not only you can go to Cabo, but maybe some of your friends can too. So that's why it's important. And then there's a few avenues where you can, obviously we have the AMPRs, and then you have the social media recruiting. That's really huge. Obviously, Kensington, we still have all of your PRs from training. And then, your PR, Lydia, she was from an Instagram post and on your story. So it's really free recruiting. You really need to utilize social media. And the 50 DMs a day is super easy. When I was in 2018, when I branched, I could do it in like 15 to 20 minutes in the morning before I started my day. So utilize that, and don't do what Daniel and I did last year is we didn't get involved and we didn't really participate before we got back from school. So like 4 days before the big dance, we were sitting down, like DMing people and trying to get people in. So where you really build this thing is like being prepared and friending people in advance. So I don't want to see you guys like pouting January 1st that you don't have anybody set for the big dance, and you're like sad because your opportunity and window for Cabo is very slim. So just being prepared, adding people, and then also really focusing in on like the key people that could be really good over Christmas break while they're back. So just being prepared with that. So like adding people, making a list, and just getting things going ahead of time and getting people set and able to interview before January is super crucial. Otherwise, basically you're just throwing shots in the dark. And my PR last winter, and this is also another reason why it's super important and super crucial, is because it's basically the staff for this May and June. So it is everyone who launches in January. So Seth can attest to the fact that it's basically the best training because the environment that Seth and Zhao got launched into was ridiculous. We had our biggest week ever in Fox Valley. It was like 90K or 89,000 or something like that.
Yep.
The training, given that, Daniel and I and Sydney and all these people were popping off 10 to 15K over those 2 weeks to go to Cabo. The environment that he launched into gave him the ability to, what'd you sell, Seth, like 8 or 9K?
Yeah, it was a little more than 8K.
Yeah. So, like that's just a testament to the fact that he really needed the money and he needed to work. He got launched into a great training and a great culture. So a guy like Seth, now that we have the incentive for the fast start, like really could have gone to Jamaica last year if we had that opportunity. So it's just really important. It's something outside of yourself, but also, if for Daniel or Josh, it's really important for you guys to build up your staff for the summer. And then for you guys, everybody that you PR that sticks around is going to be, in your office if you choose to branch your DM in the future. So, I don't really have a whole lot to say about the 50 plus DMs. Just do the work, make a list, add people. I mean, and if you look at the date right now, you don't have much time. So if you've been kind of dawdling with that, like you need to put it in your schedule and work on it an hour a day so that you can, get those people in and secure your spot. Don't try and be like, oh, I need to get 1 or 2 people to get them to sell 3K. It's like, how many people can I get in? How many people can I get set so that I know 100% without a doubt I'm going to Cabo and probably one of my friends is going to Cabo as well. So that's really important. And then the Sunday meme, basically from what I understand, is we're just stealing that from Trey Ketchum, Jason.
Yes, basically. Yeah, I mean, I guess real quick on this is I need you guys' help, and we're going to pick who's going to come up with the meme. Here's some examples. All right. So we want to have some of these memes available that you guys help us with, and you get creative. Here's more of like a serious one. Okay. But there's some cool ones. And there's some goofy ones. Right. So with that is going to be great because we need your guys' input, being cool young entrepreneurs that I'd like to put someone in charge of each of these. So if you know which one you want, we can do it in the group me, but basically just pick a date and then you're in charge of coming up with a cool meme that we're going to use. And it's just something about, broke, looking for work over break, or it could be ideally something kind of funny or clever. And then we'll have something to post. And then we'll post it each Sunday. So the goal is like for every post, we pretty much get 1 applicant. Right. So for every post, like let's say we have all 10, let's say we have 10 leaders in training posting this. And let's say we have like a few other key staffers in each office. If we can have like 15 to 20 people post this on all 3 social medias. For every post, that you typically get 1 Google Doc app. So if you post this on 3 social medias, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook, you should get at least 3 apps, right? And then if you get 3 apps times 20 of us, that's 60 apps our division is getting, many of your friends each Sunday, that we have for the managers in the office to call and set up throughout the whole week. You're going to get different people at different times, but this is huge all the way through for Sunday meetings. So that's that. For time's sake, what we'll do is on our Leadership Academy call on Monday, we'll actually go through and pick, all right, who's doing which Sunday, who's in charge of which one. Okay, so that's all that.
And then also to go along with the team building is the selling. Just if you don't believe, if you're like, if seriously, if you don't think that you can sell 10K in those 2 weeks, if you're on this call, I know for a fact that you can. So you need to like get behind yourself, get some more confidence, talk to us. Because if you really break down the goal with like a $400 average order, 10K is 25 orders. So if you don't think that you can do 35 demos over 2 weeks, I mean, that's like 2.5 or whatever it is per day. So that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Seth, you had like a $9,500 a week during SC2. Daniel's had a 15K SC2. And you know, some of you guys on this call right now haven't ever really gotten an opportunity to like fully push and apply yourself. So that just goes along with building your names list back up. So getting your parents tied in. You know, it's just really fun, especially around Christmas time. Like this past January, I rebuilt my names list because my recommendations were dry, which isn't a big deal because I still called those recommendations. I did what I had to do to hit my goal so that I could go to Jamaica, but really also being prepared. You know, that's half the battle. Building your names list, getting your top recommendations. So if you did that over the summer where you got your starred recommendations, those are the people that you should be calling first. You should be able to have you should 100% have 100 names and numbers that you can call or more on for that phone jam on that Sunday. So I mean, you know, it's going to take care of itself from there. And then lastly, the last thing that I have for you guys before the top 50 list is super self-explanatory, but you know, if your mindset is like Cabo, yeah, I could take it or leave it. If I win it, it's going to be fun. If I don't, it's not going to be that bad. I promise you, when you guys are heading home, and you can ask people that didn't hit the trip last year, I don't want to call anyone out, but when you're heading home from year-end banquet and we're staying the night, everyone's, you know, a little tipsy and we're staying the night and we're going to get up on the bus tomorrow at 6 a.m. to get to the airport to go to somewhere tropical for the next 4 days. I promise you it is going to be awful. It's going to be an aching pit in your stomach. You're going to hate every second of it. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things where you guys didn't really push super hard during SC2, and then you get to SC2 during the push awards and you're like, and then, you know, you have that same gaping hole in your stomach. Like, did I really have to sleep in that day, or did I really have to not phone that one day? So yeah. And then, you know, as far as the trip goes, I mean, I don't even remember it for like the first 48 hours of the trip. It was unbelievable. It was probably the most fun I've ever had. And from that point on, I basically made a decision that I was never going to miss a trip ever again. So just work hard, be prepared, listen to us, call us. We're here to help you. And, you know, if you think that this is tough to hit, you need to rethink your capabilities. You need to believe in yourself. You need to manifest this thing, and you just need to be prepared and put yourself in a position that you can hit it. So that's all I got.
Cool. Thanks, Lake. I'll go through some of the details of this, but does anyone have any questions for Lake right now? Let's see. Okay. So here's the update of the, here's the update. So you guys all got emailed this as well. Basically, you can see we're going to start doing some three-way texting. The goal is with each of you is to work on your top 50 lists. So if you don't have it done, I need you to get that done, please. So work on that after Leadership Academy. It'll take you guys like 30 minutes, okay? And we're going to start three-way texting people. And let's see, I'll go to that. Team Builder program. So what we want to do, here's a Facebook message as well. Let me see, hold on. Hold up. So on the top 50 list, so here's the drive. So you guys should all have a tab on here, okay? You guys should all have a tab on here. It says Northwoods top 50 list. On the bottom, you check your tab. You guys can see the plan is there. So we want you to have 50, and then we'll start three-way texting them here soon. Isaiah, was it pretty easy to let your friend know? We didn't even do a three-way text. Was it pretty easy to let him know about the job?
Yeah, I just posted something on my Snapchat, and he was like, "Oh, that seems pretty cool." So he ended up applying for it.
Okay, good. I love who's ever anonymous moose on here. That's great. In Kensington, that's great. So here's the deal with these. The template to copy. So this is for, help us out, by the way. If you have someone who's not on this list who should be, definitely help us out. So here's a template you copy and you put it in there, and then we go through and we text them. So, you can go through and like Isaiah, I know you're working on it. So it's cool because you have all of these people in here and like a little bit more about them, what college they go to, a little bit of relationship. So Rhinelander, boom. Okay, so almost at 50. Need a few more, sir. So that's cool. You guys can see, and then we'll just reach out to them, and that way I have notes of what to say on the phone with them, or Lake does, or Josh does, who's ever doing that. You can see, go through and where people are at. If we take a look, Kensington, how are you doing on this? Oh, it's Seth. Seth! Empty. Let's go. All right. Kensington. All right. Good start. Working on it. So this is great. So you can see here, building it, and we definitely want to get the top 50. So I know some of you already have people in here in Conveyor, okay, or in Vector Live. But those people, like all of those that you recommended, Kensington, are great. But even though you recommend like 78 or something, like we want to pick your top like 50. I know you guys have like hundreds of friends, right? But who are like your top 50? Not just randos, like who is really good? Who was really popular? Who was really positive? Who was team captain? Who was a DECA stud or studette? So we really want to focus on these top 50. And again, we found out that for every 17 people you recommend, we end up launching someone, okay? So like, for example, I think a couple of these are still on here from last year. I think you look at Alex Volkowski, okay? Green means we scheduled them. So we scheduled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of his 29 people he only had, right, for interviews. But then not everyone is accepted or interested. Not everyone shows up to training, but he launched a few people, right? You have like, plenty of examples on here of people. And again, not everyone is interested, but we schedule a lot of them, and that's the top 50 list. Then what we do with the three-way text, I just want to show you guys how simple this is. So the three-way text, here's what you're going to send. I actually have the message here on Facebook, which you guys were emailed this, but here is the, I'm not talking about that though. Here's the three-way texting plan. Here we go. Three-way texting. All right. If you have an issue or you've done this a few times, you're a little bit older, Daniel, maybe you don't get to fully 50. But step one is collect lists. Rep, you send up a heads up text, manager through text messages, rep send something supportive, handle responses to get on the phone ASAP, call book them for interview, send text confirmation, video, virtual interview. Okay. We get the list, okay? Step one. Step two, rep sends heads up text. So Isaiah, you'll send this to your friends. You'll send it to like 25 of them. hey, just a heads up, gave your number to my manager, Jason. We have some positions we are trying to fill for a semester break work. I thought of you. Not sure what your plans are. I just know you would do well. He's going to reach out. Even if you're not super interested, just respond either way. Thanks. And then so they'll send like 10 to 20, and then I'll send 10 to 20, right? So then there's a three-way message that I send, like, hey, Johnny, it's Jason from Isaiah's job. Isaiah gave me your number and talked you up. I'm definitely interested in walking you through the details of the position to see if it could be a good fit. Do you have a few minutes to talk? As soon as I send that, you send some emojis. Or, yeah, I've worked there and loved it. Or, yeah, Seth can say, yeah, it's awesome. I made a couple grand over my break last winter. Or, yeah, check it out. Or, yeah, you totally do great because you're in DECA. You customize it to them of what you would say to them. And then I handle any responses and get them on the phone right away. And then you call to book them for an interview, which I want to role play here as a group. But essentially, you pick up the phone. We call Johnny, right? And it's like, hey, Johnny, it's Jason. How are you? Great. How's school? It looks like in your, because Isaiah has his list filled out. It looks like you're a DECA guy at Rhinelander. How are you? How's that going? You're in Milwaukee right now? Cool. Do you have a major yet? Sweet. Well, has Isaiah told you much about the job? Okay. Well, cool. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I basically just wanted to call and introduce myself and give you a quick description of the position. If it sounds like something you could be a fit with, we can set up a time that we both have like 30 minutes where I could walk you through everything. How does that sound? Cool. Was Isaiah mention anything? All right. He's been working with us for about a year now. He's done a great job. So instead of just filling our positions with random people from Craigslist, I figured I would ask him if he knew anyone that would do well with the job, and he gave me your number. So the position is entry level customer sales and service. It's basically just meeting with customers, explaining our products to them, answering questions, and help them place orders. The products are called Cutco. Have you heard of that before? Okay, no worries. Yeah, it's basically a bunch of stuff for the kitchen that you probably wouldn't be very interested in, but middle-aged married couples love it. The schedules are extremely flexible. In fact, each student gets to pick their own schedule before each week. You can work part-time or full-time. It's really up to you. And Isaiah has worked full-time since he got started. Starting base pay rate. Here's the cool thing. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. It's starting after Thanksgiving. So the weekend of Thanksgiving, our base pay rate for January for sure. So December and January goes up to $20.
Oh yeah.
We want to make it where they can't refuse the job. $20.
When?
Yep. So basically the 29th of November, that training class of Thanksgiving, all the way through year and banquet. Based on how things go, we might do it for summer. We might do it for throughout the whole year. But we'll just see how things go and see if we get a nice little spike. I really just want to help your friends out. Plus, it's a new view. We actually have some cool posters. So there's a tangent, but Mr. Josh will be showing this and talking about this in his message here in a bit after break. But anyway, so starting base pay rate is $20. And that's paid regardless of sales. There's also a commission component, which is how your friend Isaiah had a paycheck in 1 week for $600, and he's done really well with us. They actually made, like Seth, for example, actually made like $1,500 his first couple weeks with us, or Isaiah, whatever the number is, right? Or like Kensington worked, basically made $2,300 working really part-time. So we don't look for any experience since we do our own training. The job also looks great in a resume since it's different than most students' job. We also offer scholarships and internship credits. So does that sound like something that you could see yourself fitting with? And guys, doing this for the last few years, 97% of them say yes. It's rare that someone says no. And it's rare that they say anything weird in the three-way text because they're in the text with you and your manager. They don't want to be rude to you, or they might be rude to a random person who texts them. But when you're in there and their friend's boss is in there, it's really an easy conversation. Even if someone's not interested, they're really polite. So this is great. and we'll book them up for a 30-minute one-on-one virtual interview. We'll send them the video, and we'll get them interviewed as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Okay? And then we send a text afterwards. Hey, Johnny, it was great talking with you today. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 2 p.m. That's it. And then we have the scripts for the virtual demo. All right, so that's how easy three-way texting is going to be. Any questions on three-way texting? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. We're going to role play. We're going to drill for skill right now. I'm going to have you guys role play this a few times each. I'm going to leave this shared so you guys can read it if you don't have it pulled up.